Okay, so I figured I would do a video just in case it would help you to navigate the table ahead of our call. So you see here from the dashboard, it has all the tabs that you'll find available here, except the summary. But I can add in for the summary, it's not a problem. So if you click on it, these are all clickable here. So if you click on purchase, it'll take you to the purchase tab. For some reason it's slow. Sales, etc. So those are all clickable, and this explains what each tab is supposed to record, the kind of information it would have. So actually, it's going to start out with your suppliers and your customers. And what this tab is a list of the persons that you would buy stock from. So you would give them a number and a name. And I'm going to leave the opening balance as 0 since you're just starting. This field is going to populate from the purchases tab. That will record when you buy new stock. This is where you would put in what you have paid. So if you've paid your supplier in full, you will put back the full amount there. If you made a partial payment, you will put the partial payment there. And if there's any difference, it would show in this column. And then you have your customers. So you give each customer, like the supplier, a number and their name, and the opening balance will remain 0. Everything else is going to populate automatically depending on the sales of the customer, what they pay, and what the difference would be. So for instance, you would have started out by purchasing some stock. So you would come here and fill in the date you purchased the stock, who you purchased the particular set of items from, and then you would go into the drop down and select which item you purchased. When you make a selection from the product code column, it's going to automatically fill in the product description. So if I change this to white, it will automatically change to white or red. So you only have 3 items that you're selling right now, but when you want to add items, you do that in your inventory, and you would add a product code for a new item and a product description. And I guess you could fill this in as 0. So whenever that's why when you click the drop down, there's so much empty space because it's left space for you to enter new products. Right, so when you make, so you would have started out purchasing some stock. So you would put in how many you bought, what you paid for them, and this will automatically fill in the total. And this total then will always give you the total amount that you have spent on stock, or the total value of the stock you had that you ordered for the total period. So this screen is about sales. So what you would do is put in the date, choose the customer from a drop-down list. Works the same way as for the suppliers. Choose the product code from the drop-down, and it'll automatically generate the description again. You would input the quantity that the customer is ordering, what the unit price is, and this will automatically calculate the total based on the quantity and the unit price. And then you can indicate how much the customer has paid you, whether in full or in part, and this will show the outstanding amount for that particular customer. You can also put in extra details. For instance, if the customer says they will pay on a certain date, you can always add that as a comment here. So if that date passes and you don't have a payment, you know to reach out to that customer. So anywhere that you see in yellow is a drop-down menu. Anything in gray, don't change anything in that column. There's no need to put anything in there or change anything in there. And any column that is white is where you need to enter data. And that's true across all of the spreadsheets. So as I mentioned before, your inventory would always show you how much you have bought, how many of each item you've bought, how many you sold, and how many you have on hand. And you will not need to manually put in this information at any point. This will always populate depending on how many you've purchased and how many you've sold. So for instance, if you buy additional black lamps, you will enter a new line for it, but let's enter it here on the 16th. So say you bought on the 16th 10 black lamps. That means now you have in your inventory 28 black lamps. It will automatically calculate it. So when you add new stock, this table will automatically calculate when you add stock and when you sell stock. So for instance, now if we added 10 to the black lamp stock, but what if we sell 10? If you sell 10 and you go back here, what happened? Oh, sorry, yeah. So although you bought 28, you sold 10 more, so you once again have 6. So let's put those back. Take it out. Take it out. So right, this is something that automatically populates depending on incoming and outgoing stock. And that's basically it. So when you pull it up at the end of the day and you want to record things, if you know you have purchased, if you bought stock that day, you know you have to go into the purchase page and enter all the stock that you bought that day. If you sell items in a day, you know you go to sales and you put in. If you have new customers, if you sold to new customers, you know you have to go to customers first and put in that new customer so that that customer will show up in sales in the drop down. And that's basically it. The only other thing is the summary page, and this is really customizable depending on what figures you want to see in your report. So here, for instance, I have the total inventory, like the total amount that you spent on inventory here, or that you owe in inventory, because you may part pay for your inventory depending on how much sales you have. And then you have your total sales, which will include that you've collected and what's owed to you. So you may want to know the difference between what you have spent on your stock and what is owed to you or what you have collected in sales. So you could use this tab really to calculate anything. And this column here could be used to pull whatever information you want from the different tabs. So instead of having to look back and forth, you could put them in one table and see what the differences are. So that's basically it.